friends, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the thumbnail, and usually the time of month, but I'm actually a little bit late. I'm going to be playing my TBR game, and we're going to be picking my January's TBR. I did post one video during my hiatus from BookTube. I'll link it over here if you want to go check it out, but you don't have to. It's honestly just a very long-winded, emotional video about how I was feeling, and Jellybean is here. This is my dog Jellybean. I'm Alita. These are my books, and you've reached my channel. I've posted that video, and I talk a lot about comparing myself to others and all those toxic things that you shouldn't be doing anyway, and how I was just feeling a little bit lost in the BookTube community. But I'm back, and 2023 is my year. It's going to be my year. Before I get into this, I'm going to tell you about some of the changes that we have on this game. So, we've been playing this since November. I'll link the board tour so that you can get a closer look to it. I am going to be starting over because it's a new year, and honestly, this was supposed to help me get my book buying in check, but then I did 2 very large unhauls, and I got a lot of store credit at the local bookstore here. And technically I was on a book buying ban, but I spent all that money, or all that credit from the books I unhauled, and I went backwards on the board in December because I bought books in November. But in December, we have Christmas, and I bought myself a couple Christmas presents that were books, and I'm not even mad about it. So we're starting fresh right now, and I can only buy books when I hit the book haul, which also means that I won't be unhauling any books. Even if I don't like them, they will stay on my shelf maybe till the end of the year, or until I hit a book haul. I'm not entirely sure yet. But what usually happens is I unhaul a bunch of books, get a bunch of credit, buy more, and bring them back. So that's gonna change in 2023 because I'm trying to make myself a little more accountable. We will not be doing the TBR jars. I had 4 different TBR jars, but there was a physical, an audio, a Kindle, and then basically my self-destructing books. But they weren't really self-destructing. They were just books that I wanted to read before I unhaul them. I unhauled most of them. I really went through with a microscope on all the books that I had. Got rid of all the ones that I'm no longer interested in, except for maybe 10 that are young adult that I saved because they sound interesting to me, but I usually don't resonate with young adult novels anymore. Anyways, with that very long explanation, let's just get into the game. I don't think anything else has changed. If you're new to my channel, then I have prompts on here. Some of them are bookish prompts, like small town. So it's a book that features a small town or takes place in a small town. I have a picture of my dogs. Actually, I have 3 pictures of my dogs. Each time I land on that, I actually have to add 2 books because both of my dogs get to pick a book. Then I have hubby pick, self-explanatory. There are some video prompts on here, like weekend reading blog, or there are some self-care things on here, like self-care or dance party, or fails. Like, I love to watch fails. That's I want to say a guilty pleasure, but you know, I don't feel all that guilty about it. But it just helps me choose a little bit of my life. All right, rule number 1, we're starting over because it's January. Let's see what I get. A 4. Can you guys see it? You can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. I think that I forgot to tell you how many turns I'm going to be taking in 2023. So, in 2022, the couple months that we played this game, I did 4 turns, but I also had 4 TBR jars, which was just a lot. I'm kind of a mood reader, and it didn't really give me the option to mood read. So I'm thinking we're going to do 5 turns every month in 2023. So I think that's fair. But our first space landed us on self-care, which just means that I get to do something like my face masks or doing my nails, which they don't look good right now because it's been a while. But I just get to do something for myself. It can be anything I want, and that is very exciting. Let's see what rule 2 brings us. Rule number 2 of 5 is a 1. Okay. I have 2 really large book hauls coming at you very, very soon. So one is going to be November, beginning of December, and the other one is going to be December. My Christmas book haul, they might be Christmas presents that I bought myself. A lot of them were my husband, and then other people got me some books. We are also going to be talking about some of the rules of my book buying ban, but you haven't seen this book yet, and we landed on Start a Series. So for Start a Series, I'm going to be starting the Thursday Murder Club series. I don't know the name of the series, but the book is called The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I think there are 3 books as of right now, but there might be more coming out. This follows these 4 friends who are at this retirement village, and they are obsessed with true crime. Does that remind you of anyone? And I think there's some kind of murder or a death at the retirement village, and these 4 friends decide that they're gonna investigate. I've heard that this book is really funny, and it's a lot of fun. All right, roll number 3 of 5. Okay, it's a 4. Can you guys see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. No! So for third roll, we landed on Hubby Fig. Usually I let hubby pick whatever he wants off my shelves and my TBR card that's empty right now because it just fell on my face. But because my library is very disorganized, you can't see any of it. That's okay. We're going to keep it that way. It's very disorganized. There's piles everywhere. It's very intimidating, even to me. So I have helped him out a little bit. I picked 10 books. 3 of them that I don't want to read, and 2 of them that I'm not really in the mood for. There are a few non-fictions and a few fictions. So I'm going to quickly go through these, and then he's going to come in here and pick. So auras and chakras. Some of these you might not have seen because my book haul is so... I need to do a book haul. But auras and chakras, I I'm just not in the mood for this one right now. It is nonfiction though. Unbelievable nonfiction. I'm not really in the mental state for this one. But if he picks it, then eventually this month I'll try to get there. Not the Girl You Marry. This is a romance. And it seems like a very fun romance, so I would be okay with this one. The Finalist by David Bell. I've already read it this month, so it would be very helpful to get it on my TBR because, like, it's already finished. Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a must-read for me this month because it's part of the buzzword-a-thon that Kayla from Books and Law puts on. The word is life or death. This has maybe in another life. So if you pick that, that would be helpful. There's Why We Sleep. And this is a book that I want to read, but not right now. Because it's a very dense nonfiction. I don't know if I have the capacity for that right now. Then there's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Honestly, I only picked this one because it was free from Book of the Month. I'm not excited for this book at all. I don't think it's going to be my jam. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This one is probably going to wreck my soul, but it's also probably going to be a favorite of the year when I read it in 2023. Then The Anatomy of Motive is another nonfiction. I wouldn't necessarily be against a nonfiction. This would probably be the nonfiction I would pick if I got to pick. I read John Douglas and Mark Olshaker, The Killer Across the Table in 2022. Absolutely loved it. So had to buy another book from them. And then The Sanatorium by Sarah Peirce. Not really in the mood for this. Some kind of thriller, kind of like in Agatha Christie, like locker room, mystery thriller. Not really feeling. I've been scared to read this one. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. It's recording.
I may already have it picked.
Okay.
You should tell me Why We Sleep.
Okay. Are you interested in that?
I am interested in having you read it.
Got you. Thank you.
Yep.
He picked Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker. So, we've already gone over these. I told you this one's going to be a very dense nonfiction that eventually I want to read. I guess eventually is now.
You gotta read it now.
I am really intrigued about sleep and Why We Sleep because honestly I'm an insomniac and I don't sleep much. I wish I did. And I'm just very intrigued about that. Alright, roll number 4 of 5. It's another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for roll number 4, we got another one that doesn't actually get a book. It's just for me to give myself guilt-free booktube time. So I can watch a couple videos and not feel guilty like I'm not doing anything productive. Okay, so our last roll right here is a 2. It's finally not a 4. 1, 2. Oh no. Okay, so that space actually means that I start again. I keep the books I already have, but I start over and I add another roll. So essentially we have one more turn. Yeah, because that was supposed to be my last turn. Now, my thinking when I first created this game was that I was going to do a random number generator and pick whatever book it told me to read. However, I have books all on my floor, and these are just piled, and they are not in order how they're supposed to be. So I am going to let myself have a free pick. Is this cheating? Maybe. But you know what? It's my game, so I don't care. For my punishment prompt, I wanted to pick a book that I have very low expectations for, but it's like a free pick. I've already read The Finalist by David Bell. I hated this book. Well, hated is a very strong word. I strongly disliked this book, but it's on my TBR now. I have read it, so that'll be easy. I'm going to start this game over, and I guess rule number 6. Right, we're going to start over. Last rule. Let's see. Okay, you definitely can't see that, but I promise you it was a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A free pick. Our last roll, we landed on free pick. So I could literally pick any book I wanted. It would be really, really smart of me to pick Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I have to read this for the Buzzbird-a-thon. But I'm not going to. Someone's just being added to my TBR. I'm really in the mood for a romance, a romantic comedy in particular. So this is Not the Girl You Marry by Andy J. Christopher. And this is a gender swapped How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So it's like fake dating. And they're both trying to get ahead in their careers. So I literally just finished filming my TBR for January. And then was like, well, I want to participate in the Who Done It readathon, which is this readathon that is put on by Paige from Pages with Paige, Danielle from Book Chakra, I think that's her channel name, and Naomi from Naomi's Bookshelf. I'll link all their channels down below. Basically, the Who Done It readathon is based on Cluedo, and they have this really interesting concept, and I'm not going to go into all of it because they explain it way better than I ever could. But I am going to be Mr. Green. So at the beginning, you pick your character, and you, based on whatever character you pick, you get a special thing. Like if you pick Professor Plum, you get to reveal one room. And then if you are Mr. Green, you have to toss your quarter, and if it comes back as heads, you get to reveal one room, one suspect, and one weapon. And you can double up in this readathon. So you can actually triple up, but you can only use one room, one character, one weapon. You can't do like 3 characters in one book, if that makes sense. And I So you could literally do this readathon with only 3 books, which if I get a heads, I will have 3 books. But if I get a tails, then I have 6 books. I hope that makes sense. And like I said, go check out their channels because they explain it way better than me. But let's start this off by seeing if I have 3 books on this TBR or 6. Okay, are we ready? Oh my god, I don't think you can see it, but oh, see? It's heads. Oh my gosh, I really thought it was going to be tails. Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker is Mrs. White because one of the prompts for that is follows a psychiatrist or a doctor. Matthew Walker is a professor of neuroscience and psychology at UC Berkeley. I am going to count that. It is in the study because it's nonfiction, and it gets me the rope because it's not my normal genre. Like, usually I read fiction. I am trying to step outside my comfort zone a little bit this year and read more nonfiction, but I still don't consider it my normal genre. Then I have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This is Mrs. Peacock because the main characters are older. This is like elderly main characters, which is awesome. Then Revolver because this is part of a series. And I know that there are 3 in the series as of now, but I think that there are still more coming out of this series. So I'm counting it. And then The Lounge because I feel like this is going to be a cozy, relaxed read, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I have Professor Plum because it's purple. With the candlestick because there's a light source, there's stars up here, and that counts. In the hall, I believe. Yes. In the hall, because do you see all these buildings back here? It says if there's a building on the cover, you get the hall. So this is my TBR for Whodunit-a-thon, which is interesting because these were already on my TBR. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.